Now, selfish ambition is a disposition or conduct motivated by personal advantage rather than by truth. So it's about getting the advantage over someone, has nothing to do with truth. You will see this in a lot of assemblies where it's all about getting higher up in the scale of the position of authority, whether it's taking on the position of, and actually, be honest with you, this selfish ambition, I really think when you look at it, that is where a lot of the concept of elder boards come from, because they don't want to be deacons. They don't want to be these lowly little deacons. They want a different position of higher value. And then they change the concept of an elder. So selfish ambition, like I said, this is something that's going to come. Well, actually, people who do this aren't going to obey the truth, obviously, because they're contrary to it. Romans chapter 2 and verse 8. So over in Romans chapter 2 and verse 8, but those who are self-seeking, well, they don't obey the truth. And these are the ones that what they're doing is they're obeying unrighteousness. Well, to them, we're going to see indignation and actual wrath coming upon them. That inner burning anger, and then ultimately that wrath. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 20. We again see that selfish ambition. So it's along with contentions, jealousy, indignations, or inner burning wrath, and selfishness. All of this stuff is a manifestation of flesh. So when a person is carnal, they're going to produce this kind of thing. Unfortunately, there are even people, there were people in Paul's time, and are still people who actually preach, they announce Christ out of selfish ambition, not out of sincerity. I have run into many people like that. I remember one particular one who came out of seminary, a gentleman that came, well, gentleman, okay, I'll use that term loosely. And why? Because his intent was money, to get paid. And because of his push for getting paid, what ended up happening in this particular situation is everybody else who wasn't a pastor had to take a pay cut so that he could get paid more money. Because that's all he was about. Selfish ambition. That's what he wanted. But he would preach Christ. Now, granted, he didn't preach the truth of the gospel, but he would still preach about Christ. But he was doing it for selfish ambition. And of course, these people were doing it in Paul's time, supposing that they would actually cause more affliction to Paul.